welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, where we are currently in Charlian to unlock another of Endwalker's variant dungeon. So far we only have a city subterrane, the first one, where we accompanied Nanamo, and today we want to do Mononoke Aware. Your timing is impeccable, Desiree. How do you manage to do that? An intriguing job has been laid at our feet, and the client insists you be the one to take it up. The client? Why none other than the East Aldena Trading Company? Uh-huh. The missive was dispatched to the Kuragane branch rather than Lord Lorito's offices, but it nevertheless carries a piquant scent of moneyed interests. Care to give it a read? Sure. Dear Desiree, in the self-same spirit of friendship that has defined our every interaction to date, it is my pleasure to extend to you a humble invitation. It is because of your endearing efforts to save the star that we may benefit from this rarest of opportunities. For it was in service to your noble quest to build the good ship Ragnarok that I was able to forge a fruitful bond between myself and another of Hingashi's elites. This lord has seen fit to grant me, and a guest of my choosing, leave to go where few Aegean have tread, beyond the bounds of Kuragane, to the sacred slopes of Mount Rokkon itself. I cannot overstate the significance of this gesture, nor the allure of sights heretofore unseen by Western eyes. Nor is it an exaggeration to say that no one is more deserving of this boon than your magnanimous self. I eagerly await our reunion at the gates of the Bokairo Inn. Ever your faithful servant, Hancock Fitzgerald. There's flattery and then there's this. Laid it on a bit thick, did he? I'd expect no less from a consummate merchant. Not too proud to debase himself on sufficient profits' sake. Still, there may be a crumb of sincerity beneath that slavering of honeyed words. And if not, you still stand to benefit from playing along. You'll be heading to Kuragane then, I take it? Why not? Perfect, I sent word that you're on your way. Fair fortune and safe travels. You'd best come back with plenty of stories to tell you, yeah? Good, then to Hingashi. Oh, my dear Desiree, who would have thought that the spinner would see us reunited so soon? You will be pleased to hear that no other charlatans have attempted to masquerade as Tenzin's progeny in the interim. As you can see, preparations for our journey are well underway. Partial though I am to the traditional Hingan kimono, if you had to climb a mountain, it would be prudent to do so in comfort as well as style. But I presume you would rather discuss matters of greater import than my attire. If not, my capable associates are ready and eager to brief you on the challenge ahead. We've reserved the finest chambers of the inn for the occasion, so let us reconvene away from all the hustle and bustle, shall we? Master Hancock, Mr. Desiree, we are most grateful for your aid in this matter. I'm Tsubaki and my Onmyoji companion is called Tokimori. We have come to Kogane on behalf of Lord Uzumibi, who presides over Mount Rokkon and the surrounding lands. His lordship is the one I mentioned in my missive. Hearing of my interest in the Far Eastern treasures, he knew at once that I would find the lure of a sacred peak irresistible. But I forget that you are not as familiar with these lands as I. Let's begin with the basics and expound upon the finer points as we go. To orient ourselves in your mind's eye, we must first review Hingashi's geography. Of the many isles which comprise this nation, it is here on the western coast of Shishu that Kogane serves as our shining beacon of commerce. Mount Rokkon, meanwhile, can be found far from our beloved city of trade. Here in the northeastern corner of the isle. Upon the slopes of a sacred mountain sits the Shoujo Temple, a monastery where monks gather to train their bodies and souls. Alas, in defiance of its holy purpose, a horde of otherworldly demons have claimed the temple as their own. His lordship suspects that a collection of accursed treasures is to blame for its infestation. In the Far East, you see, 'tis believed that well-preserved objects may come to possess living souls after a time. These vessels turned kami are known as Tsukumogami. A Tsukumogami in turn may attract and even beget other spirits. These Mononoke clearly have no regard for the sanctity of a mount, and so Lord Uzumibi desires a swift resolution. Compassionate soul that I am, I could not bear to stand idly by, but as man of wealth and influence, base altruism is beneath us both, so I offered to aid his lordship in a manner befitting our stations, by brokering a mutually beneficial arrangement. Simply put, should I find a way to rid the mountain of Mononoke, I may lay claim to any accursed treasures that I find. One man's treasure is another man's Takaramono. That's Hingan for treasure, by the way. And here, my friend, is where you come in. During our jaunts to the mountain, you will serve as my bodyguard and slay any monstrous Mononoke we encounter. In exchange, you shall become one of a blessed few to bear witness to the wonders and terrors of Mount Rokkon. A fair deal, yes? Collecting accursed treasures sounds like a dangerous pastime. Your concern for my welfare is endearing but unwarranted. Once the spirit has been dispatched, the object is once possessed shall return to its original soulless form. Of course, if an object from my prospective collection were to possess me, you're welcome to violently exorcise it, provided my personage remains unharmed. In any event, let us cross that proverbial hashi when we come to it. Now that the matter of Desiree's participation is settled, might I inquire as to the current owner of these items, Mistress Tsubaki? The treasures were brought into the temple at the behest of Gorai, the head monk. Though his disciples doubt not that his intentions were pure, his actions have brought him great misfortune. Like you, Master Hancock, Gorai was an avid collector of antiques and claimed that the Tsukumogami who dwelled within them ought to be worshipped. Driven by this fervent belief, he purchased all manner of items he deemed worthy of veneration. But as his collection grew, so too did certain troubling phenomena. An unholy shadow began to loom over the sacred mountain, and under this wicked veil were the Mononoke emboldened to break their fetters. Fearing for their lives, the monks had no choice but to flee, their home defiled by demons. We could not allow the scourge to spread further, and sent our strongest warriors to slay the fiends. But few returned. Knowing that victory could not be attained by force alone, my lord bade us employ magics to contain the threat. Tokimori is one of a valiant few who returned from the temple. 'Tis thanks to his diligent reports that we know aught of Mount Rokkon's present state. Our orders were to find Gorai and convince him to part ways with his treasures, but our pleas fell on deaf ears. He is like unto an animal. I suspect any semblance of reason has left him. With the seal we placed upon the mountain and Dios, the Mononoke have had ample time to corrupt the souls of those who could not make good their escape. Should you encounter any survivors, do not show them a modicum of mercy. 'Tis too late. We have prepared our strongest falcons. Their keeper shall await you by the Vokaizen hot springs, and will summon the birds once your preparations are complete. A word of caution, the falcons fear the Mononoke and will refuse to fly close to the temple. They shall bring you to the foot of the mountain, but no further. Beyond that point, you will have to climb. I see. Many thanks, my friends. Now then, if we are to depart soon, I think it best we feast to our heart's content. One cannot slay demons on an empty stomach. Mount Rokkon is rife with danger. Do not underestimate your enemies. My thanks once again for your assistance, Mr. Desiree. Master Hancock had some business matters to attend to before your expedition. Once you're ready, I shall summon him. I feel compelled to warn you, even in times of peace, the climb of Mount Rokkon is not for the faint of heart. I suggest you procure sufficient provisions, if you have not done so, and ensure that your equipment is in working order. Tokimori's disciples have been tasked with maintaining the mountain's wards. They will open the way for you upon your arrival. Speak with our falcon now when you wish to depart. But you must remain here. I shall be praying for your success. Variant Dungeon, Mount Rokkon, now accessible. Good. Three paths to raid sit at our behest. Whither shall we wander? Were I to chart our course, I would choose this path. No, today we do the path on the left side. Interested in a different path, I shall place my trust in your intuition. A portal, if you would, good sir. Seal of shadow revealed by path. Excellent. Let's be about. A grand gate. What lies beyond, I wonder? Demons already? Well done, Desiree. I spy a most promising pagoda. Let us make it our destination. There's no end to these beasts. It's little wonder the mount was sealed. No! My climbing attire is soaked! What curious creatures! They must have been emboldened by those terrible torrents. Mount Weather is one to change on a whim, but 'tis not nature's whims at work here. A shinobi? And out we open it that Yosakura were fleeting. It shall be mine, mine I say. You cannot have it. Would it yet arrive sooner? Judging by her supernatural size, the demons have already taken that poor shinobi. She must be the thrall of a treasure, a promising lead, though at an unfortunate cost. Dance of 1,000 petals begins with a single blossom. Okay. Wind and water, something that I... now, I just could remember. One was... right, okay. In and... I didn't remember if it was in or out. My shadow is my strength. Fire Blossom is distance. So this is out then. Fire and water. And wind and lightning is in and the alternating cones. Shadow. stanza of 1,000 petals begins with a single blossom. Thank the Kami rains have ceased. Should make shelter ere another storm passes through. Got so, a possessed ninja. If I had to wager a guess, these must be the temple's stores. Rather spacious, aren't they? Oh dear. Wait for it at the place. Where are your treasure? Cursed or no? I imagine it would abide within these walls, but where? Under the auspices of two auspices, as it were. Curious. Now, for paths 1 and 2, just use the crystal ball. So the glass serves a magic doorknob of sorts? The monks are certainly inventive. You two are connoisseur of fast maps, I trust. Terribly charming how the four lords are shown ruling the cardinal directions. Gods, we're everywhere. How about them? How very suspicious. The blade pulsates with ominous energy. Close the lid. Now this is the decision between path 1 and path 2 here. Either you leave the box open, or you close it. If you close the box, you go path 1. If you don't, you go path 2. Monoko, Mock of the Restless. Face me, and I shall grant you an honorable death. I see no clockwork mechanism. We have an honest-to-come Mononoke at our hands. My blade thirsts for mortal blood. Directions, pay attention, and left is safe. Mark where the armor readies its blade. Though it has quite a reach, it cannot strike everywhere at once. Right. Careful, he spins. To me, warriors, your lord has need of you. The bloodless palpable have carried its way. I shall be right here at a reasonable safe distance, cheering you on. To arms, my warriors. We make for the front lines. Now they charge at different speeds, so we need to find a way to slip between them. They may have strength in numbers, but why not? If we cannot beat them, dodge them. The cause of steel rings eternal. Okay, behind and then in front. And here it becomes interesting if he switches directions. To the left. And to the right. Spun, so in tenebrous night shall you meet your end. I once dreamed of shaking hands with a giant Oni, but not like this.
And in gardens of flame do true warriors thrive. Distance. A bit bigger than I thought. Front and right. Arms, warriors! To the right. Front. And to the left. Got. And there he is. Well done, Desiree. Even the fiercest Mononoke is no match for you. Tis difficult to appreciate while I'm afraid of slicing and dicing, but the monks amass a truly impressive collection of blades here. To say naught of our most inspirited armor. Perhaps the soul of a warrior once wore it yet lingered, awaiting its chance to take to the battlefield once more? Or perhaps the sword was a treasure with a life of its own? A vexing conundrum, but to bring back to Kogane that is. I don't suppose you have space in your bag? And he bows. Mock of a restless card and 2 potshots. You returned. Few can slay a great Mononoke and live to tell the tale. Mr. Cesare, full glad am I to see you hale and whole. I espied Master Hancock's falcon in the distance, but its movements appeared awfully erratic. I cannot hope they land safely. So he overpacked. Terribly sorry to have kept you all waiting. Our souvenir was a tad more cumbersome than I realized. But as you can see, we are none the worse for my misjudgment. Indeed you are not, Master Hancock. My lord will be pleased to hear of your return. And your success, I presume? It was Desiree's victory as much as my own. But then I knew a few demons would be no match for a slayer of gods such as she. Honestly, for all its perils, I found the journey quite invigorating. The pagoda's architecture was nothing short of divine, a masterpiece wrought from timber of the ancient forest within which it stands. A treasure unto itself. Gridanian works may possess a similar charm, but even an Ul'dan such as myself could see that it was a class of its own. In any case, the people of Shisui can rest easy, knowing a great Mononoke has been consigned to oblivion. But we, my friend, have months to go before we sleep. There were several paths we eschewed, were we not? The mind races to imagine what other delights we may yet behold. Indeed, a number of treasures remain unaccounted for, and the demons are like to linger until their masters are slain. Precisely, but take heart, Mistress Tsubaki, for Desiree shall not rest until these villains trouble the small folk no longer. She shall sally forth again and again, and the treasures which drew them thither have been secured, and my collection is complete. Alas, time waits for no man and business for no merchant. I must away, but when next you wish to take Mount Rokkon by storm, you need only say the word. Before you do, however, you might consider sharing the tale of our exploits with Mistress Shalomoor. The missive I received indicated a rather strong preference in that regard. We are in your debt, Mr. Cesare. Please give our regards to Mistress Shalomoor as well. I was wondering when you'd be back. How was the adventure in the Far East? Everything go well with Hancock? I doubt I'd fare well against demons, but I do like the sound of that mountain. Green as far as the eye can see, ripe for the gleaning. Would that I had an assignment like that. No need to bemoan, my lord, in your presence. I suspect Osmond's been awaiting your return more eagerly than I. Go on and tell him your tales of a mountain. I guarantee you, he'll love every word of it. Okay, but for now, for recording purposes, I will decline to finish a quest. Because depending on which path you take first, Hancock has a different dialogue. So I will, for now, abandon the quest. And Return to Mount Rokkon. Alright, we are back to the two statues. Now, I'm not quite certain how to figure this one out. I suspect it has something to do with when you go through the door. Hancock says something about in Far Eastern maps that the four lords symbolize the four cardinal directions. But I'm not sure it fits here. Anyway, so Zaku looks at the door, Sario looks left, is what I wrote down. Then we open a secret passage. I might have known that Zaku and Sario were the guardians of this gateway. In fairness, one usually needs to grapple with only one at a time. All of this for a dead end, how odd. You mean to take to the roof? I see the Mononoke share your sensibilities. Now, the next battle is important for the choice. Let's head back inside quickly. The important part is the upper and its cast of Water 3. If that spell ever finishes during this battle, the Arpa douses the lanterns in the room and you're on path 3. If you manage to always prevent the casting until the Arpa is dead and finish off the room, then you're on path 4 when the lanterns still burn. So. Now, technically a stun is not an interrupt, but I think that counts, but I didn't let him cast. Otherwise I need to come back with a different job that actually can do a proper interrupt. Another flight of stairs, shall we? And we come from the other direction. In the path 1 and 2 we came from through this gate here. To the same boss. And every path the boss has slightly different mechanics. Face me and shall grant you an honorable death. catch us again. Quick. Right. And back what's after. Okay, I stay here. But that will be the new mechanic with a ghost in this particular route. Okay, so they're fire. It's fire again. Oscar, I had a run where he used water. That was a different attack. Back. Back and right. Left. Back. A clash for the ages, life-threatening circumstances aside, it was a pleasure to witness Bushido at work. I had guessed the passage we traversed would lead us to the store's most valuable contents. Lo and behold! Such exceptional relics are a rarity indeed. This armor not least of all. The spirit that enlivened it must have been one of a very Tsukumogami of a rumor. In an ideal world, I would not hesitate to bring home every last blade the Mononoke touched. Alas, my falcon can only bear so much weight. This calls for serious consideration. Pray leave me to my thoughts for a moment. And did that count? It's path 4. I did interrupt. Good. Off screen, I finished path 3, and I would say I end the episode here. Next episode, we go the right way from the start, which are paths 8, 9, 10, and 11. Good, but until next time, I'm Mace, and don't get lost.